Welcome today. We're diving into some of the most valuable coins in U.S. history, the copper wheat pennies. These little coins made of steel and copper could be worth way more than their face value, and in some cases they might even make you a millionaire. Let's explore which ones are worth huge money and why they might just be your ticket to a fortune. First up, the 1957 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1-cent coin, particularly with the D mint mark, holds an intriguing place in numismatic history. Part of the final series of the iconic wheat pennies, which were minted from 1909 to 1958. This coin is a key piece in the legacy of the Lincoln cent. The wheat pennies were struck by the U.S. Mint during a period of great transition in the country, spanning the roaring 1920s to the aftermath of World War I, a time that saw both great prosperity and economic strain. The 1957 coin marks the penultimate year of the wheat penny series before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959. This particular year saw significant production numbers, but with many examples surviving in varying conditions, it's the coins with unique characteristics, such as errors, mint marks, and certain types of damage, that stand out in today's market. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the 1957 Lincoln cent features a highly detailed image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His portrait is a dignified tribute set against the backdrop of the country's troubled times. The reverse features the iconic 2 wheat stalks framing the words "A pluribus unum" and 1 cent, a design that is instantly recognizable to collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The D mint mark on this coin signifies that it was produced at the Denver Mint, which was one of the 3 main facilities responsible for minting U.S. coins at the time. While most of the 1957 pennies were produced in large quantities, certain conditions and errors have made some coins from this year quite valuable. In 1957, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.5 billion Lincoln cents, making it one of the more common years in the wheat penny series. However, the value of a coin is not determined solely by its mintage. Factors such as condition, errors, and rarity in the marketplace play a critical role in determining its worth. In the case of a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with ADD, mint mark in scratched and damaged condition, the value can fluctuate significantly, but it will still have intrinsic value due to its historical and cultural importance. Despite being in damaged condition, the coin's market value can still be higher than its face value, especially in specialized numismatic circles. Collectors are often drawn to these coins because they represent a piece of American history, even in less than perfect condition. Depending on the severity of the scratches and damage, a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny with AD mint mark can be valued anywhere between $89,000 on average, though coins in higher grades or with unique error features can fetch more. While this coin doesn't represent a particularly rare or unique error, many collectors look for specific minting flaws that can drive the value up significantly. Errors such as double strikes, die cracks, or off-center strikes can significantly increase a coin's value, even in less than perfect condition. However, in the case of scratched or damaged coins, collector interest may focus more on the historical context and the fact that the coin represents a period of transition in U.S. currency. Many collectors view these types of coins as an opportunity to own a piece of history, and the added damage might not be a detractor, but a reminder of the coin's journey through time. First up, the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent holds an important place in American coin history. The Abraham Lincoln wheat cent series was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 16th U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. It remained in circulation until 1958, and during this period, the coins underwent several design and minting changes. The 1939 edition is notable because it represents the final years of the original wheat design, before the transition to the memorial reverse in 1959. During the Great Depression era, the minting of pennies saw some fluctuations due to the economic strain, which made any unique variations during this period highly valuable to collectors. Despite being an often overlooked year, the 1939 penny is a key piece in collecting sets of Lincoln wheat cents. The 1939 Lincoln wheat cent features the obverse design of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is shown facing left, with the inscriptions in God, "We trust above liberty" to the right, and the date 1939 to the left of Lincoln's portrait. The reverse side, which is iconic in coin collecting, shows two wheat stalks framing the words "E pluribus unum" and the inscription "United States of America" above the words 1 cent. The D mint mark indicates that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. The presence of the mint mark is crucial in determining rarity and value. For collectors, mint marks are vital in distinguishing between different coin variations from the same year. The 1939 Lincoln penny with AD mint mark is highly sought after. However, this specific coin is even more interesting because of its damage, a feature that only adds to its mystery and intrigue. The damage on this coin consists of tiny dots scattered across both sides, likely due to improper handling, storage, or other environmental factors. While this damage may diminish the coin's grade, it doesn't necessarily detract from its appeal in some collectors' eyes. Many collectors appreciate coins with unique characteristics, as they can add a level of intrigue and rarity to a collection. In damaged condition, a 1939 Lincoln wheat cent with a D mint mark can still fetch a significant price, especially if the damage is unique or identifiable as an error. Typically, a coin like this would fall in a range from $38,000 depending on its severity and overall market interest. In certain cases, rare damage or significant collector demand can push the price even higher. The key here is the rarity of the damage, the historical context, and the current market demand for damaged coins. Collectors who seek coins with damage often value these as part of an error or mystery collection, contributing to higher than expected prices in certain auctions or private sales. As always, when buying or selling such coins, grading and provenance will play a large role in determining their exact market value. Next up, the 1926 Lincoln wheat penny is another key coin in the history of American currency. Struck during the height of the Roaring Twenties, a decade marked by rapid economic growth and industrialization, the 1926 penny holds both historical and numismatic significance. The Lincoln wheat cent was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it remained in circulation until 1958. The 1926 coin was part of a series that continued to feature the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the two wheat stalks on the reverse. However, this particular coin is notable for its error, a distinctive line on the obverse side that can only be seen under magnification. This error has contributed to its desirability and value among collectors. The 1926 Lincoln wheat penny features a simple yet powerful design. The obverse showcases the beloved image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse of the coin displays two wheat stalks, which are framed around the inscription 1 cent and E pluribus unum. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. At the time, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing the bulk of the nation's coinage, including the Lincoln wheat cents. The specific error on this 1926 coin, a line running across the obverse side, was likely caused by a worn die, which left a mark on the coin during the striking process. This type of error, though relatively subtle, is highly sought after by collectors who are keen on collecting coins with minting defects. The mintage for the 1926 Lincoln wheat penny was substantial, with over 197 million coins struck that year. As with many coins from the 1920s, the mintage was high, and many examples are still in circulation. However, the error on this coin, combined with its fine condition, makes it a more rare and valuable find. In fine condition, a 1926 Lincoln wheat penny with the error line on the obverse side can command a price anywhere from $400,000, depending on the quality of the error and the interest of collectors at the time. Coins in higher grades, especially those in uncirculated condition or with other minting defects, can fetch significantly more. The error line on the obverse side is one of the most significant reasons why this coin stands out. For error collectors, this makes the coin particularly appealing. Minting errors, whether they are die cracks, double dies, or other anomalies, are always a topic of great interest in the coin collecting world. Because this error is relatively rare, it increases the coin's appeal to both casual and advanced collectors. The combination of the error with the historical significance of the coin makes it a highly collectible piece, especially for those focused on acquiring coins with unique characteristics. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent is one of the most sought after coins for collectors today, especially when it's in a unique condition like the one we're discussing, a large date without a mint mark, exhibiting red color, scratches, and damage. To understand why this particular coin can fetch a high price at auction, we need to take a step back in time and explore its historical context. The Lincoln Wheat Cent was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This series, known for its iconic design by Victor David Brenner, features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing the nation's agricultural roots. By 1952, the Lincoln Wheat Cent had undergone several design changes, and the series was nearing its end. The minting process was well established by this time, but the U.S. economy was undergoing shifts. After World War I, the country experienced prosperity, and the demand for coins remained high. This led to a massive mintage of coins in this era, which, while abundant, does not mean every coin from this period is worthless. In fact, certain coins from this era, like the 1952 Wheat Cent, can still hold significant value, particularly when in unusual or damaged conditions. The 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent features the iconic design, with Lincoln's profile on the obverse. The reverse showcases the familiar wheat stalks with the words E pluribus unum above. In terms of distinguishing features for the 1952 coin, it is one of the last years of the series before it transitioned into the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. However, the lack of a mint mark and the large date designation make this a noteworthy example for collectors. This coin, despite being in a damaged condition with scratches, has a deep red color, which is an indicator of its once pristine state as a mint state coin. Red coins are often highly prized as they retain their original copper luster, but the scratches and damage bring it down to a lower grade. The mintage for the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent was substantial, but its market value fluctuates dramatically based on its condition. In typical circulated conditions, a 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent can be worth huge money, but when you take into account a coin with red coloring and noticeable damage, the value rises significantly in certain market conditions. The coin's estimated auction value in its damaged condition, considering its red color, scratches, and the lack of a mint mark, could range anywhere from $500,000, depending on how the auction market values the aesthetics and historical importance of the piece. Coins in this specific condition might also have collector interest based on the unique qualities it brings to the table, especially when it has survived decades in circulation. While there are no major errors associated with the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent, collector interest can increase when a coin displays unique characteristics, like distinctive damage. In this case, the scratches and discoloration could add to the coin's story and appeal to a niche group of collectors who specialize in flawed coins or coins with unusual marks. Collectors often value coins for their individual characteristics, and a well-worn coin with red coloring and identifiable damage could be an interesting addition to a specialized collection. Next up, the 1929 Abraham Wheat 1-cent coin is a product of one of the most significant periods in U.S. history, the early 20th century. The United States was in the midst of an economic expansion after the end of World War I. The coin features the famous image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The year 1929 falls just before the onset of the Great Depression, an event that would dramatically impact the economy and coinage circulation. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the wheat penny design, which was initially introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The wheat penny's design remained in circulation until 1958, making it one of the longest used coin designs in U.S. history. The 1929 Lincoln Wheat Penny has a distinct and enduring design. On the obverse, you see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right with the inscription in God, we trust along the top edge, liberty to the left, and the year 1929 at the bottom. This iconic portrait by Brenner has remained one of the most recognized images in American coinage. On the reverse, the coin features 2 stalks of wheat surrounding the words 1 cent with United States of America and E pluribus unum inscribed around the edges. This reverse design is also associated with its nickname, the wheat penny. The large date of nickname, the wheat penny, the large date of 1929, is clearly visible, which makes it different from the smaller date varieties, adding to the collector's interest. The most important thing to note is that the 1929 wheat penny does not carry a mint mark, signifying it was minted in Philadelphia. This is notable because some years featured mint marks D for Denver and S for San Francisco, but the lack of a mint mark in 1929 means it was made in Philadelphia, increasing its historical value. In 1929, the United States Mint produced 157,032,000 Lincoln wheat pennies. This was a significant mintage number indicating that the coin was widely circulated during its time. However, as time has passed and the coins have been subjected to wear, the number of well-preserved 1929 wheat pennies has dwindled. Coins in good condition are harder to find, which directly impacts their value. Circulated coins like the one we are discussing were often used in daily transactions, and many saw heavy wear. The 1929 wheat penny, while not as rare as some other years, is highly sought after in better conditions due to its scarcity today. The condition of these coins varies widely, from those in poor, worn-out shape to those that are relatively well preserved. The market value of a 1929 Lincoln wheat penny varies depending on its condition. A coin in circulated condition is worth significantly less than one that has been well preserved or graded as high as very fine or extremely fine. The base value for a circulated 1929 wheat penny hovers around 50 cents to $2. However, auction prices can increase substantially based on condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. Coins in higher grades, such as those in fine or very fine condition, can fetch upwards of $12,000s to $40,000 in auction. When a coin reaches Mrs. 65 Mint State 65 or higher, the value can skyrocket to well over $78,000 for a 1929 wheat penny in pristine condition. Collectors may be willing to pay even more. The most expensive 1929 wheat pennies are typically auctioned at between $600,000 or more, depending on their grade and provenance. The 1929 wheat penny has been known to feature some minor minting errors that significantly increase its value. One example is the presence of doubled dies, where the design appears to be stamped more than once, slightly offset from the original stripe. These varieties are especially rare and desirable among collectors, making them highly valuable. A 1929 wheat penny with noticeable errors such as this can fetch much higher auction prices, often running into the thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and its visibility. Collectors often pay premium prices for error coins because they are unique and rare, adding to the historical appeal. The 1929 wheat penny, as part of the overall Lincoln penny series, continues to be highly collectible. The historical connection to Abraham Lincoln and the association with one of the most famous U.S. coin designs ensures that there will always be interest in this coin. Numismatists, those who study coins, are particularly interested in tracking down coins from specific years, especially those in pristine condition or with unique minting errors. Collectors tend to focus on the overall Lincoln cent series, with the 1929 coin being a desirable piece due to its age, historical significance, and connection to the Lincoln legacy. The 1929 year is often chosen by collectors who are specifically focused on completing a full set of wheat pennies or obtaining one of every year of issue. The 1929 Lincoln wheat penny, despite being part of a more common mintage, remains a collectible coin due to its historical significance, design, and unique characteristics. Its value, while not astronomically high in circulated condition, can increase dramatically based on its condition, rarity, and any minting errors. For any collector looking to enhance their collection, securing a 1929 wheat penny in good condition is a smart move that can yield impressive returns in the market. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a mid-century coin that was minted in a post-World War II America. The United States economy had shifted from wartime production to peacetime industry, and the country was undergoing a transformation. The war years had created scarcity of resources, and in 1948, the economy was beginning to boom as soldiers returned home and industries like automotive manufacturing flourished. The Lincoln cent from 1948 represents this time of transition in U.S. history. The design had been largely unchanged since 1909, but the coin's widespread circulation during a time of prosperity makes it a significant relic of the late 1940s. Like most wheat pennies, the 1948 Lincoln cent features Victor David Brenner's design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, while the reverse displays 2 stalks of wheat. However, what makes the 1948 penny notable is the possibility of varying color shades and layers, which arise due to the coin's interaction with environmental elements over the decades. In some cases, pennies like these may develop distinctive colors such as brown, reddish, brown, or sometimes even a tarnished or dirty appearance, depending on their exposure to the elements. These unique color shades and the dirt accumulated over time can be of interest to certain collectors who seek out unusual patinas, though it may affect the coin's grade negatively. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny had a significant mintage of over 1 billion coins, making it one of the more common coins from the era. However, the coin's value in today's auction market largely depends on the condition and unique attributes of the coin. In its color shade or dirty condition, where the coin might exhibit signs of wear, dirt, and toning, the value typically remains on the lower end of the spectrum, ranging from $68,000 for a common coin. However, these coins with unusual color layers or patinas can sometimes fetch a little higher if the coloration is striking enough to catch the attention of collectors who appreciate such attributes. Despite its large mintage, the 1948 penny remains a popular coin for those interested in collecting Lincoln cents, especially for its potential to exhibit a range of natural toning effects. It is rare to find a coin from this era in pristine condition due to the high circulation rate. Although error varieties of the 1948 penny are less well known, there are a few minor errors that can make the coin more valuable, such as off-center strikes or die cracks. These errors are typically subtle but are highly sought after by collectors who specialize in error coins. Despite the dirty or toned condition of many 1948 Lincoln pennies, collectors still hold them in high regard due to their historical value and association with the post-war period. However, because of the widespread mintage and commonality of these coins, most collectors focus on acquiring specimens in higher grades or those with distinctive errors. Next up, the 1939 Abraham Wheat 1-cent coin comes from a time of significant political and economic change in the United States. The year 1939 saw the country grappling with the aftereffects of the Great Depression, with unemployment rates still high and the economy struggling to recover. The production of the Lincoln Wheat Penny, however, continued without interruption, symbolizing the U.S. Mint's commitment to maintaining the nation's coinage during these difficult years. The coin features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which had been a staple in U.S. coinage since 1909. The year 1939 is notable in part because it marked the final years of the wheat penny's design before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. As with all wheat pennies, the 1939 version features the iconic design of Abraham Lincoln's portrait by Victor David Brenner. The obverse inscription reads, "In God we trust," along the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1939 below the bust. The reverse of the coin features 2 stalks of wheat on either side of the phrase 1 cent, with the words United States of America and E pluribus unum surrounding the coin. What sets the 1939 coin apart from others in the series is its large date, which distinguishes it from the smaller date versions of this coin. The large date variety is one of the most recognizable features for collectors who seek to complete a set of Lincoln wheat pennies. The U.S. Mint produced 309,534,000 Lincoln wheat pennies in 1939, a significant number, indicating that the coin was still widely circulated. The high mintage, however, does not necessarily translate to low value. The condition in which the coin survives, as well as its age, significantly impacts its worth. In very fine condition, the 1939 wheat penny is rarer than a worn example, as many of these coins were heavily used in circulation. As the coin ages and fewer examples remain in great condition, it becomes more desirable to collectors, especially those looking for the large date variety. A 1939 wheat penny in very fine condition can see prices ranging from $200,000 depending on its precise state of preservation. Coins that are well circulated and exhibit wear will naturally have a lower market value, whereas coins in higher grades, such as very fine, extra fine, extra fine, extra fine, or uncirculated, can fetch much higher prices at auction. Highly sought after examples of this coin, particularly those in mint state, Ms. 65 or higher, can command prices upwards of $100,000, with some reaching over $200,000 depending on their grade and rarity. The 1939 large date variety is particularly attractive to collectors who specialize in Lincoln pennies. The 1939 wheat penny also offers an opportunity for error coin collectors. Minor minting defects, such as double dies or misprints, can substantially increase the value of this coin. Next up, we have the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent with a D mint mark in very bad condition. Now, the term bad condition can mean different things in the world of coin collecting, and for this specific coin, it refers to one that suffered quite a bit of wear and tear. But despite its rough appearance, this coin can still hold substantial value in today's market. Let's explore why this is the case. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was struck in the aftermath of World War I, a time when the U.S. economy was transitioning back to peacetime production. Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which has graced the penny since 1909, continued to be featured prominently, symbolizing both the nation's resilience and the ongoing admiration for the 16th President of the United States. The Lincoln cent has long been a part of the American consciousness, making this coin both historically significant and highly collectible. However, the 1946 coin itself holds unique characteristics because it marks the return to a peaceful economic period after the conflict, and collectors view this era as one of transition. It's a fascinating point in time that adds to the overall appeal of the coin. The D Mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 primary U.S. mints responsible for coinage. Though the mint mark may not be rare in itself, the overall condition and specific traits of the 1946 penny make it of interest to collectors. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny carries the same design as its predecessors. On the obverse, we find the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, and it became an enduring symbol of U.S. coinage. On the reverse, the coin features 2 stalks of wheat on either side of the inscription E pluribus unum, with the denomination 1 cent beneath it. This design was in circulation from 1909 until 1958, and although it's relatively simple, it holds immense historical value. Now, in terms of condition, the 1946 D wheat penny in bad condition is heavily worn, with severe surface abrasions, discoloration, and heavy damage to the details. The coin may appear unattractive to the casual observer. However, even in this state, the coin's value may still surprise you, particularly when considering its rarity in specific grades. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in large numbers, with approximately 1.1 billion produced. The high mintage means that these coins are not particularly rare, but the sheer volume of circulating coins means that finding examples in good or excellent condition is actually quite challenging. Over time, many of these pennies have deteriorated due to years of circulation. However, even a coin in poor condition like this one still has value because the D Mint mark gives it a slight rarity boost over its counterparts minted in Philadelphia. When coins like this are found, especially in bulk, collectors still show interest for the historical significance of the piece, even if the coin isn't pristine. Despite the poor condition, this 1946 D wheat penny in very bad condition could fetch anywhere between $92,400 at auction. depending on the specifics of the coin's damage and its appeal to collectors looking to complete their sets. While this price range may not be extraordinary compared to pristine or uncirculated versions, it still holds value in terms of historical context and minting rarity. One key point here is that collectors often look for coins like this to fill in the gaps of their collection, especially for pennies from the 1940s. For those who are just getting started in coin collecting, a coin like this can be a low-cost entry into the world of numismatics, with the potential for value increases as demand for older U.S. coins grows. As for errors, there are no known major varieties for the 1946D in bad condition that would significantly increase its value. However, off-center strikes or die cracks can occasionally add to a coin's worth, even in lower grades. Collectors are always on the lookout for interesting anomalies in coins that add to their uniqueness. If you happen to come across a 1946D with a visible error, it could be worth a bit more, potentially moving the price into the $89,000 range, depending on how striking the error is. Next up, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent with AD mint mark. In fine condition. This coin is a standout for several reasons, including its historical context, design, and unique market value today. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted during the post-World War IE era, a time when the U.S. was experiencing significant economic growth and rebuilding. This era marked the end of the war and the beginning of a new chapter in American history, with the economy booming, technological advancements on the rise, and cultural shifts influencing the way people interacted with money. While the 1950s were a time of prosperity for many, the Lincoln Wheat cent was nearing the end of its long and distinguished run. The Wheat penny series, which had begun in 1909, was being phased out in favor of the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959. The 1956 coin stands as one of the last significant pieces of this iconic series, with the distinctive wheat ears on the reverse side symbolizing the nation's agricultural roots. The design of the 1956 Wheat penny, like most of the series, is attributed to Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, you will find the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. This portrait is based on the famous 1911 sculptural bust by Brenner, which was used for most Lincoln pennies until 1959. On the reverse, the wheat ears encircle the words E pluribus unum and 1 cent, reflecting the agricultural heritage of the U.S. The large date format seen in 1956 coins is noteworthy. This change in font size was meant to make the year more visible, and it became a distinguishing feature for the series. The 1956D mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary coin production facilities in the United States. This mint mark adds a layer of rarity and collectible interest, as not all coins from this era were minted at the Denver facility. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny with the D mint mark had a mintage of approximately 1.1 billion coins, making it relatively common compared to other rarer years in the Wheat penny series. However, despite the large mintage, the 1956D in fine condition still holds significant value in the market today. In circulated fine condition, a 1956D Wheat penny can fetch between $115,000 at auction. Coins in higher grades, such as very fine or extra fine, can reach upwards of $156,000, with uncirculated examples pushing the value well over $200,000. The primary reason for its value increase in recent years is due to its status as one of the last of the original Wheat penny series before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial design. Collectors have long been interested in Wheat pennies due to their historical significance, connection to the 16th President Abraham Lincoln, and the enduring charm of the Wheat design. The 1956D variant in fine condition attracts buyers not just for its market value, but because it's part of a historic series nearing the end of its production. While the coin itself may not be as rare as other years, its value in the market is influenced by the increasing popularity of coin collecting, the rarity of well-preserved specimens, and its status as a key coin in the Lincoln series. Additionally, demand for vintage U.S. coins from collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike keeps the 1956D in high demand. ensuring it maintains a solid place in the market. Next up, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent without a mint mark in fine condition. This particular coin is not only a valuable piece for collectors, but it also has a fascinating backstory, design features, and market appeal. The 1930s were a tumultuous decade for the United States. The country was in the midst of the Great Depression, with high unemployment, bank failures, and widespread poverty affecting millions of Americans. In this climate, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins like the Lincoln Wheat Cent, even though the country was facing significant financial hardship. The 1937 penny, minted in the wake of the Great Depression, carries historical weight, reflecting a period of resilience and recovery. While the U.S. struggled economically, the Lincoln Wheat penny remained a symbol of hope and continuity in American currency. The 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny, without a mint mark, follows the same design as other pennies of the series. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing left. Brenner's design was masterfully executed, and Lincoln's image on the coin became one of the most iconic representations of any American president in numismatic history. On the reverse side, the 2 ears of wheat surround the inscription E pluribus unum, and the coin's denomination 1 cent. The lack of a mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the primary minting facility for U.S. coins during the 1930s. The 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark had a mintage of approximately 1.1 billion coins. Despite the large mintage, it holds particular interest among collectors, especially in fine condition, due to its age and historical significance. In today's market, a 1937 wheat penny in fine condition is valued at around $15,000 higher. Quality examples in very fine or extra fine condition can see values rise to $30,000 or more. Coins in mint state or uncirculated condition can sell for $78,000 or more, depending on the specific coin's quality and preservation. Collectors have long cherished the Lincoln Wheat penny series, and the 1937 penny holds a special place due to the era in which it was minted. The coin serves as a reminder of the country's resilience during a difficult time in history, and this connection to the past makes it highly attractive to collectors. Despite its large mintage, coins in fine or higher conditions continue to command strong interest from both collectors and investors alike. The market for these coins remains steady, and their value is expected to hold or even increase as more people discover the allure of historical U.S. coins. Next up, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny with a D mint mark is a coin that holds a significant place in the history of American currency. Although this particular coin may appear to be in dirty or less than perfect condition, its true value lies in its rarity and historical significance. The 1953 Lincoln cent marks the last year of the Lincoln Wheat series before it transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The series, which began in 1909, was the first time that an American president, Abraham Lincoln, was featured on the obverse of a coin. Created by Victor David Brenner, the image of Lincoln on the penny became one of the most iconic depictions in U.S. coinage history. The 1953 penny is part of the mid-20th century coins during a time when the U.S. was recovering from the financial strain of World War I.E. The D-Mint mark on this coin signifies that it was minted in Denver, one of the U.S. Mint's primary locations. The obverse of the 1953 penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words "In God we trust" above and "Liberty" to the left. Below Lincoln's portrait is the year of issue, 1953. The reverse of the coin features 2 stalks of wheat encircling the inscription E pluribus unum, out of many, one along with the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. This design is known as the wheat cent, a symbol of the prosperity of American agriculture. It's a beloved design among collectors due to its historical context and its connection to President Lincoln's legacy. The 1953 penny with a D mint mark had a substantial mintage of over 1 billion coins. While this may seem like a high number, the condition of individual coins dramatically influences their market value. Most coins of this era were circulated extensively, meaning they show signs of wear and tear. such as scratches, discoloration, and dirt accumulation. However, despite its relatively high mintage, the 1953 penny with a D mint mark in dirty condition like the one we're discussing still holds significant value due to its unique status in the market. In terms of collector demand, this coin has a strong following, especially among those who focus on Lincoln wheat pennies from specific years and mints. In today's auction market, a 1953 Lincoln wheat penny with AD mint mark in dirty condition could range in value from $34,000 depending on the extent of the damage and dirt. While this may not seem like a substantial amount compared to higher grade examples of this coin, it's important to remember that even dirty coins can hold great value to collectors. The real kicker for this coin lies in the fact that it's part of the vast Lincoln penny collection and holds historical and sentimental value, adding to its market appeal. Coins in better condition, even with the D mint mark, can easily fetch between $68,000 depending on their grade and demand at auction. However, the market price fluctuates and collectors might pay more for specific coins from years like 1953, given the context and the fact that there are fewer high-grade coins in circulation. One of the exciting aspects of this coin is the potential for error variations. Lincoln pennies from the 1950s are known for subtle minting errors, such as double dies or die cracks. These variations can increase the value significantly. Although the 1953 penny with the D mint mark doesn't have any major, widely recognized errors, collectors often look for slight deviations in the design or any irregularities in the coin's appearance. Even in a dirty or worn state, a 1953 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark is a coin that carries a special place in American numismatic history. Its role as a transitional piece from the earlier wheat design makes it a highly desirable coin for collectors seeking to complete their sets. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin, a coin that, in spite of its dirty condition, can still hold significant value in today's auction market. Let's explore the background of this coin and why collectors are still eager to get their hands on it. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the final year in the series of wheat pennies, which were struck from 1909 to 1958. While it marks the end of an era, the coin remains highly regarded among collectors, especially when found in unusual conditions or with unique features. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds historical significance as it marks the end of the Lincoln Wheat series. In 1959, the U.S. Mint introduced the new memorial cent design, which featured the Lincoln Memorial Cent design, which featured the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse instead of the two wheat stalks. The 1958 coin thus represents the last of a long-standing tradition of coinage design and is a symbol of the era's cultural and political landscape. The design of the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny follows the same format as the rest of the series. On the obverse, we have Abraham Lincoln's portrait created by artist Victor David Brenner. The reverse side features the iconic wheat stalks with the words 1 cent prominently displayed in the center. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as this was common for coins minted in Philadelphia at the time. Now, the 1958 penny in question is in what's referred to as a color shade, dirty condition. This means that the coin has been exposed to environmental elements or mishandling, which has caused it to lose its original shine and develop a grimy appearance. While this may seem like a negative aspect for some collectors, coins in less than perfect condition can still carry a certain charm and rarity for those who specialize in finding unusual examples. Despite its dirty condition, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark can still carry considerable value, depending on the exact circumstances. In its typical circulated condition, it might fetch anywhere between $10,000, however. The coin's appeal increases significantly if it's part of a rare group of similar 1958 pennies in unique conditions. Collectors with a keen eye for unusual variants are often willing to pay a premium for coins with distinguishing features, including those that appear worn, dirty, or aged. Collectors have a long-standing interest in the Lincoln Wheat series, particularly in coins that are rare, unique, or have unusual features. The 1958 penny without a mint mark fits into this category. Despite its dirty condition, it remains a sought-after piece for those who want to complete their collection of Lincoln wheat pennies or focus on the last year of the series. The market for these coins tends to be steady, and as more collectors turn to vintage and worn coins, the value could increase over time, especially as this coin becomes harder to find in good condition. Next up, the 1934 large date penny without a mint mark. This coin represents a transitional time during the Great Depression and provides collectors with a glimpse into both the economic and numismatic world of the 1930s. The 1934 Lincoln cent was issued during the depths of the Great Depression, a period of economic hardship for the United States. The Depression caused massive unemployment, business closures, and a severe contraction in the economy. However, during this challenging time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins, and the 1934 Lincoln penny was part of that effort. The large date version of this coin has become particularly valuable to collectors today, largely due to its rarity and good condition. Unlike the earlier pennies, which featured a smaller date font, the large date variety introduced a more pronounced size for the numbers 1934. This feature was one of the distinctive characteristics of the coin and plays a significant role in its collector appeal. As with other Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1934 coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features 2 ears of wheat surrounding the phrase E pluribus unum and 1 cent. This design remained unchanged from 1909 until 1958, making the wheat cent design one of the most iconic symbols in U.S. coinage. The key difference with this coin, the large date variation, stands out with its larger numerals for the year 1934 compared to the smaller numerals found on other years, making this a highly prized variety. The mintage of the 1934 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was approximately 232 million coins. Given the significant number minted, many of these pennies circulated for decades, making the number of well-preserved examples relatively low. The coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the lack of a mint mark. Despite its high mintage, the 1934 large date penny, particularly in fine condition, is considered a rarity among collectors due to the fact that most coins from the Great Depression era saw a heavy circulation and wear. In today's market, the 1934 large date penny without a mint mark, in fine condition, can fetch between $46,000 at auction, depending on factors such as demand, the specific coin's condition, and the overall interest in that particular year. The fine condition generally means that the coin will show some wear, but the main features, such as Lincoln's portrait and the large date, will still be distinguishable. High-grade versions, especially those with little to no wear, can reach values of $50,000 or more. The coin's value is significantly impacted by its preservation, and coins that are well kept can attract serious bids from collectors looking to complete their wheat penny sets. As with many other coins from this era, the 1934 large date penny has its share of mint errors, which collectors are always on the lookout for. Some of these errors include doubling of the digits or other minor defects in the die, which can increase the coin's value. However, even in its standard condition, the 1934 penny remains a highly sought-after coin. Collectors especially prize this coin due to its historical significance. The 1934 penny is a reminder of the era in which it was produced, and for many, owning this coin offers a tangible connection to a pivotal time in U.S. history. Next up, we have the 1946 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, large date with D mint mark in extra fine condition. This coin represents a dramatic contrast to the earlier coin in terms of condition, and its value reflects that. Just like the 1946 penny we discussed earlier, this coin was minted after World War I.e. during a period of peace and economic recovery in the United States. The Lincoln penny series, which began in 1909, continued to be a favorite among both the general public and collectors. By the mid-1940s, the coin had already become a familiar sight in everyday transactions. The 1946 large date variant was struck in a way that the numbers 1 and 9 appear larger than those in earlier years, which has led to some confusion among collectors and numismatists. This particular design change wasn't intentional, but rather a result of changes in the die-making process. The D-Mint mark indicates this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The design features remain identical to earlier issues, with the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the wheat stalks on the reverse. What differentiates this coin from other 1946 pennies is the size of the digits in the year, creating a large date version. The D-Mint mark further distinguishes it from the Philadelphia minted coins. In extra fine condition, this coin will exhibit clear details with very minimal wear on Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks. The fine details on the reverse will still be sharp, and the coin will have a clear, visible mint mark on the obverse. Extra fine means that the coin has seen very little circulation, making it much more valuable than coins that have been heavily worn. The 1946 D large date penny was minted in large quantities, with over 500 million coins produced at the Denver Mint alone. However, since the 1946 penny was in circulation for decades, finding one in extra fine condition is rare. Most of the coins that survived have been worn down, so finding one with minimal circulation damage adds a significant premium to its value. A 1946 D large date penny in extra fine condition could be worth anywhere from $100,000 to $200 in today's market. The value can fluctuate based on demand, but coins in this grade typically see strong auction prices because collectors often seek them for their excellent visual appeal and historical significance. For those with a keen eye and a bit of patience, this type of coin can become a centerpiece in a collection of post-World War IIUS coins. Coins in extra fine condition are also sought after by those trying to assemble a complete set of Lincoln pennies from various years and mints. The large date variety itself is an error in terms of the die-making process, and that's one reason why collectors find it interesting. Although not particularly rare in comparison to some other types of errors, collectors still find this large date feature intriguing and collectible. This can sometimes push its value even higher if it's paired with an additional anomaly, like an off-center strike or die crack. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent is a part of the later years in the series, produced during the post-YE economic boom, when the country was experiencing rapid industrialization and population growth. During this period, coinage production surged to meet the increased demand. The 1952 penny, especially those with mint marks, carries a historical weight for its timing and place in American coinage history. The Lincoln Wheat series continued until 1958, with the design remaining unchanged through much of the 1940s and early 1950s. The 1952 coin represents the tail end of this era before the transition to the memorial design. Like all coins in the Wheat series, the 1952 penny features the likeness of President Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner that remains one of the most iconic in U.S. numismatic history. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of Lincoln, with the year 1952 on the left side and liberty on the right above Lincoln's portrait is the motto in God, we trust. On the reverse, the classic wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent with United States of America inscribed above and E pluribus unum beneath. The D Mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 primary minting locations in the United States at the time. This particular coin has been subject to significant scratching, which is a form of damage that can detract from its overall appearance and grade. Scratches on a coin can occur during circulation, improper storage, or even mishandling. While scratches often reduce a coin's value, they can also add a unique touch, especially when they are light or irregular. Coins with such damage are commonly seen in good or fair grades, but they can still hold value to collectors who are looking for coins with a bit of character, or those who want to complete a particular series or set. In scratch damage condition, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent with a D Mint mark would typically be valued at around $66,000. While this isn't a rare coin in terms of overall mintage over 1 billion 1950, 2 pennies where struck collectors may still find interest in it due to its unique damage or for use in a low-grade collection. The value can fluctuate depending on the severity of the scratches and the overall interest from collectors at auction. Next up, the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became a mainstay in American coinage. The reverse of this coin features two wheat stalks, which is why it's often referred to as the wheat penny. By 1919, the United States had just emerged from World War I, a time when inflation was rampant and the economic recovery had begun. The 1919 penny was minted during this time of economic transition, making it historically significant. The design of the 1919 penny is known for its simple yet powerful imagery. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows two stalks of wheat with a pluribus unum inscribed at the top and 1 cent at the bottom. This design was used on the Lincoln cent from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced with the memorial design. The 1919 penny in particular is special because of its historical ties to the post-World War I period, making it a sought-after item for collectors. The condition of the coin greatly influences its value, and the very fine grade is a point of focus here. In very fine condition, the coin displays only minor wear, with most of the finer details still visible, including Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalk. The legend around the coin is clear, and the fields of the coin are minimally worn, providing a nice balance between detail and preservation. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny had a substantial mintage of approximately 309 million coins. While this number seems large, many of the 1919 pennies circulated extensively over the decades, and the condition of most surviving examples is not ideal for collectors. However, when it comes to the 1919 penny in very fine condition, its value in today's auction market is significantly higher. As of recent market trends, this coin can fetch between $55,000 in very fine condition, depending on the specific auction demand and its preservation. The higher end of this range may apply if the coin is graded by reputable grading services such as POS or NG. If you're looking at a coin that has been graded as extra fine or even uncirculated, the price could rise dramatically, sometimes crossing the $100 mark or higher. However, the true value of these coins lies in their rarity in higher grades, especially in the absence of a mint mark. There are certain notable errors with the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny that have captured the attention of collectors. The most significant error associated with the 1919 penny is the D over S mint mark error, where a D mint mark was struck over an S mint mark. These rare errors can increase the value of the coin dramatically, sometimes worth hundreds of dollars, depending on the condition and rarity of the error. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny, despite being a fairly common coin in terms of mintage, remains a key piece in any serious collection. Its historical significance, coupled with its connection to a transformative time in U.S. history, ensures that collectors continue to seek out well-preserved examples. The Lincoln cent series, especially from the early years, is one of the most collected types in the world, and the 1919 penny is no exception. Collectors who are building a complete Lincoln cent collection often look to acquire this coin in better condition, particularly those that have been graded highly. As a result, the 1919 Lincoln penny continues to be a highly valuable piece in today's auction market. Next up, we have the 1944 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent coin featuring the distinctive E to mint mark. This coin is a true gem for collectors, especially when found with the right characteristics, even in a damaged condition. Let's take a deeper look at what makes this coin so special. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic and well-known coins in U.S. history. This particular year is significant for several reasons, and it's important to understand its historical context before diving into its value in today's market. The year 1944 was during the middle of World War I, a time when the United States was facing economic challenges. The U.S. Mint, in response to the war effort, began using a higher percentage of copper in coin production. The 1944 penny was struck using copper instead of the previously used steel. This marks the return of the familiar copper penny after a wartime experiment with steel pennies in 1943. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is characterized by its classic design, which features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll find the two wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent the D Mint mark, representing the Denver Mint, can be found near the bottom of the reverse side of the coin. Lamination damage condition. Now, this specific coin features a rare and unique flaw known as a color shade lamination damage. This type of damage occurs when the copper layers of the coin do not properly bond during the minting process, causing peeling, discoloration, and a rough texture on the surface. Lamination errors like this are relatively uncommon, making this coin especially valuable for collectors interested in flawed pieces. Despite the condition, a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with AD mint mark and lamination damage can still fetch a significant price at auction. In today's market, such a coin can command anywhere from $200,000, depending on the extent of the damage and the interest among collectors. The uniqueness of this error adds to its desirability, especially for collectors of Lincoln wheat pennies who are drawn to rare variations and flaws in the minting process. Coins with lamination damage have a niche but dedicated following, and their values can fluctuate based on the number of collectors vying for them. The 1944 D wheat penny is part of a larger group of wheat pennies that have been the subject of intense collecting interest due to their connection to World War I and the economic challenges of the time. Collectors often seek out these coins in any condition, but those with errors such as lamination damage have become highly sought after in recent years. This error adds a layer of rarity and intrigue to an already valuable coin. If you manage to find a 1944 D with such a flaw in your collection, it's definitely one to hold on to and could appreciate in value over time, especially if the market for error coins continues to grow. Next up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent coin with a D mint mark is a highly sought after coin in today's market, especially in circulated condition. To understand why this coin holds such immense value, let's first look at its historical background. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series was first introduced in 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was the first time a U.S. coin featured a real person's image on the obverse, and it became an iconic part of U.S. coinage. The 1945 penny, part of the final years of the Wheat Cent series, was struck in the aftermath of World War I, a time when the U.S. economy was transitioning into the post-war period. During World War I, there was a significant shortage of copper due to its use in military materials. As a result, in 1943, the U.S. government began minting steel pennies, but by 1945, the economy was recovering and the traditional copper composition returned. The 1945 Lincoln penny, particularly the one with AD mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, is part of that post-war copper era. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Cent features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse design depicts a left-facing bust of Lincoln, with the inscription Liberty to the right and In God We Trust above. Below the portrait, the year 1945 is inscribed. The reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays two stalks of wheat, framing the D Mint mark can be found beneath the wheat stalks, signifying that it was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1945, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.1 billion pennies. This high mintage figure means that, in general, 1945 pennies are not as rare as some other years. However, the 1945 D Mint mark coins stand out because of their distinct strike quality and their higher demand among collectors. In circulated condition, the value of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny with the D Mint mark typically falls within the range of $88,000 depending on its grade and wear. However, a well-preserved coin with minimal wear can fetch higher values, especially in the higher grade circulated categories. The 1945 D Lincoln penny holds steady value due to its iconic status and historical context. While not as rare as some of the other rarer Lincoln Wheat Cent varieties, the coin is a staple for collectors. Its historical association with the end of World War I and the transition back to regular coin production adds to its appeal. Additionally, the coin is an essential piece for anyone seeking to complete a full set of Lincoln wheat pennies. Collectors often seek out high-grade examples, as these coins are relatively easy to find in lower grades. A well-preserved coin with minimal wear may sell for a premium. Many collectors also pursue the 1945 D penny for its connection to the broader history of U.S. coins, especially those who specialize in U.S. mint marks and wartime production. Though the 1945 D Lincoln penny does not have any significant mint errors that dramatically affect its value, collectors should always be on the lookout for variations that might arise due to die wear or planchette issues. Occasionally, you may come across examples where the strike is weak or there's a noticeable doubling in the lettering or design elements, which can make the coin a rare find. Collectors of Lincoln wheat pennies know that even minor errors or abnormalities can significantly increase a coin's value. So keep an eye out for those subtle details that can elevate the value of a seemingly ordinary 1945 D penny. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting.